Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off drawing our pumpkin. So what shape is the pumpkin? What shape do I have to draw? Circle or an oval. Right. So I'm going to start by drawing this sort of like my rounder pumpkin. And then I'm going to do another pumpkin behind it. And we talked about when something is behind, are we going to see the whole pumpkin?
No.
No, we're not going to see the whole pumpkin. And this one I'm going to make sort of like a taller pumpkin here. Okay? So I have my two overlapping pumpkins. Now, when I put the stem on my pumpkin, am I going to put it right here up on top?
No.
Like a little hat?
No.
No, where am I going to put my stem?
Inside.
Inside. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Okay? I'm going to put it maybe like right here. Okay? And then, remember when we're drawing those curved lines around the pumpkin, we're going to first start in the middle, and we make this shape that's sort of like a what? What did we say? An oval or a football shape, right? And then each line that we're going to draw comes from this corner of the stem. So I'm going to go around, and then I'm going to go down, and I'm going a little bit farther back than this bottom part, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go from the stem up and around. That's my outside part of my pumpkin. And just do the same thing over here. We're drawing those C shapes, bless you. And then we're going to go around here. And this is my pumpkin. And then I'm going to just draw that little piece here and draw a little piece here. Okay? Easy. Then I'm going to do the same thing on my next pumpkin. Alright? But instead of doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start coloring so you guys can get to work because I want to give you a lot of time to get working on your pumpkins. So the colors that I'm going to use, I'm not just going to use one color. I'm not just going to color it orange. I'm going to use some orange. I'm going to use some yellow. I'm going to use some peach color for my highlight where I want the light to shine. And I'll use a little white because I love white for a blending color for the oil pastels. Okay? So when I color, it's really important that you color with the lines, okay? See how I'm coloring? I'm following the lines of my pumpkin. See that? You don't want to color back and forth. I had one of my students earlier this week color their pumpkin back and forth with different colored stripes. Now, does that make sense?
No.
Not really, no. So we want to color the same way as the stripes of our pumpkin, all right? That's going to give us more depth and dimension to our pumpkin. So now I'm going to take my peach and I'm going to start coloring over some of this orange. In the peach, you notice what it's doing? It's blending with the orange and it's sort of creating this nice highlight. Okay, and where I want it darker or even lighter, I can use yellow too. And make sure that you are, sometimes the oil pastels have other colors on them like black or green. You can get a scrap piece of paper and just like color off to the side to get that other color off here. Okay. So I want to add other colors and layer my colors of the oil pastel on here. Okay, doesn't that look better? So when I start adding more shadow, I'm going to add more brown. And so my light source is coming from this way. So I want to have more shadow over here on this side of the pumpkin. So my darker shades and values are going to be over here, especially the bottom of the pumpkin and where these stripes are, like here. Okay, and then we can blend those together with our finger or a piece of paper towel. Okay. What color should I do my stem?
Brownish.
Brown.
Green.
What? Do you think maybe I should add two colors?
Yeah. Green.
I could do green and brown and mix them together. That might be kind of cool. That might be a little more realistic. So let's try adding a little green on here. Oh, I kind of like that. Okay. And then you can just blend them together with your finger. Okay. So we're going to do this on both of our pumpkins. Okay. And then we talked about what are we going to do in the background? What am I going to do in the sky?
Stars.
Stars like, do you guys remember the artist that we were studying? What's his name? I heard it. Vincent Van Gogh. Very good. So for my Starry Night background, I'm going to do like swirls and moons. Now, can you see that?
No. I can.
You can hear? Because
Yeah, I
you're closer.
Oh.
But what I'm gonna do is I'm drawing swirls, and I can draw like stars in the sky, and I can have like
I could see it.
dotted lines going around my
I could kind of
stars. So where I'm going with this is
Whoa.
here. So let me take this one off. Okay, so you can't really see a lot of my star in my background because I didn't paint the whole thing, but you can see I have some swirls and dotted lines and dashes and a moon in the background. Okay, and we're gonna do that in oil pastel, and then we're gonna paint over it. Okay, do you know why the oil pastel is showing through the paint? Why is the oil pastel showing?
Because if you use oil pastel and white, the paint will like make the design that you use, so you really gotta be careful or it won't work.
It'll pop out, right? So when you're using a watercolor paint over the oil pastels, it's not gonna stick because there's oil in the oil pastel. That's why. You think about oil and water, oil sits at the top of water, okay? So that's a resist method. So do you think you guys are ready to get started on the pumpkins? Yes? All right, excellent. How many of you want to practice on a small piece first? Because I'll give you a small scrap piece if you just want to practice first, and then you can go on to your good copy. Okay, so almost everybody. All right, that sounds good. So I need a couple helpers. I need Camden. You want to help me? What are you hiding? What do you got in your pocket? Okay, you guys help me. I'm gonna have you guys pass out the small sheets of paper. Okay, and